What's going on, everybody? LK here, back at it again with another video. And today, not really a game in particular. This video is in response to a comment, admittedly a troll comment, but it made me think that this misconception probably exists in fighting games regardless, and it's about tiers, and specifically top tiers, and whether or not these characters have or don't have flaws. So the other day, maybe like a couple days ago at this point, I uploaded another video in my Dragon Ball FighterZ problem with series, the problem with Base Vegeta. Base Vegeta, a top tier character. I think basically everyone agrees he's a top tier character. Some people think he is potentially the best character or top 3. I do not, and I shared my thoughts. And I got this wonderful comment.
8 minutes just to address that he is a weak mid-screen with no assists and that he has stubby normals. This is why you're the lowest in the pro player tier list. Not sure if you deserve being called pro BTW. Your brain can't comprehend the strength of this character anywhere on the screen. You lack it. This is also why I try to avoid watching your The Problem With videos, but I failed this time.
So as of this moment, I'm not actually sure if this is the real Slim Shady, but this is a dub. First of all, this is a dub. They watch the video, they have to comment, that's a dub. Second of all, though, I do actually think this misconception of just because the character is top tier means they're flawless might be more pervasive than I would have thought before. So what makes a top tier character in a fighting game then? One, when we say top tier, we're comparing them to the rest of the cast. So there's a lot of examples, but I basically have them grouped in my head like this. So if the game sucks, then the character is really broken. Oh wait, okay. The game doesn't have to suck, but there is the classic, the character is just super broken. If I had to think of an extreme example, I would say, in my personal experience, characters like BlazBlue, Calamity, Trigger, Carl, or if you want a meme answer, maybe like Toki from HNK. These are characters that just have extremely beyond what everyone else has. And it makes all their matchups pretty much really one-sided, and it might take, like in Toki's case, years for someone to find something that reliably beats that. As far as modern fighting games, though, I think that devs have gotten better at overall making fighting games than before. There's definitely an emphasis on making sure things aren't really ridiculous. So what we end up seeing commonly now is that either, let's say, a character has some type of situation that is overwhelmingly in their favor that's hard to escape. A really simple one would be in Dragon Ball, Ghost Okuzeme would be a really good example, or the various level 3s that people use a lot right now. So like Android 21's is one, Base Vegeta actually has one. These type of situations are pretty uncommon in the game, and everyone recognizes that it's a strong one, it's unique. It's not like a common thing they give to a lot of characters. It's one of the things that makes a character really good. Another thing that makes a character top tier in various games is the idea of a character that doesn't have any one thing that stands out per se, but their overall toolset is so like strong and flexible. It leads to them having a good matchup spread. This is usually what happens when quote-unquote normal guys like the Ryus, Ken, Souls, and Kais of the world end up being top tier. These characters don't usually have super strong situations that people are like, man, can't deal with this. It's just that their overall toolkits end up being really reliable in many situations, and just makes it so that the character doesn't really lose. And then the last type I feel like is a character that has stuff that other characters in the game straight up don't have. So the first one I mentioned is characters have some type of situation that's really hard to escape, or like really strong, but sometimes multiple characters have this thing, and they're just different degrees. So if we use the first one as an example, I mentioned Ghost, I mentioned level 3s. So Trunks from Dragon Ball, using the same characters, has this thing too, where he has a really good level 3 too. Most people don't think he's top tier though, even though he has the same type of really strong mix-up level 3. Oh my god, you can't block this level 3. Again, people don't really think he's top tier like the other characters. So this C thing is having something that other characters in the game just straight up do not have, or like very few characters have. If we're going to use Dragon Ball as an example again, This is how I felt about Teen Gohan, especially in Season 2, because he had the universal fuzzy on all characters. So everyone gets fuzzied by Teen Gohan. Doesn't matter if you are Kid Buu or Broly, so the smallest or the largest character, you have to deal with this thing that he can do to you. Other games have this type of thing as well. So the one that I could think of offhand that would be pretty good for this would be Siroa in Melty Blood. Actually, Melty Blood actress again. One, I get to sneak in talking about Melty Blood in a video on my channel. But two, I really dislike this character. He makes me really sad. I'm not gonna lie. As a longtime Melty Blood player, his existence in CC is painful to think about. He has the ability to put an orb on the screen that is an air unblockable projectile that hits almost full screen. This is a absolutely insane tool for a game like Melty Blood, which is a lot about aerial movement and the freedom of aerial movement. Because he just basically neutral, I want to say, ends essentially when he puts that orb down in the vast majority of his matches. There are other characters in Melty Blood who have aggressive neutral tools like that, but his is by far the best, I think. So since we went through that, let's talk about examples of top tier characters having flaws, just some pretty simple ones. If we're talking about Dragon Ball, it's basically every character that's top tier has some sort of problem, even if it's something that when you say it, you're like, man, this is really silly. Like the character doesn't have a DP, or the classic, the character doesn't do enough damage. This does actually matter, even though we say this as jokes. But you can point out some examples from other games as well. So in my experience, for example, the game I played before Dragon Ball FighterZ competitively was Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear has a few characters that people tend to call public enemies number 1 and 2. It's probably Johnny and Elphelt. So especially Johnny gets memed a lot, but he does have a flaw despite being generally the best character for the past couple versions. And his biggest issue is that he's not that great against zoning until you get really good with him, and he's a tall character, so he gets exposed to some offense that other characters don't. Despite all his amazing things like the super good damage, consistent combo ability, stupidly good pressure, level 3 Mistfinder, being able to get his coins back, and all the other silly things that he can do, it's still an issue when you pick up Johnny that Dizzy is going to run away from you, Venom is going to put balls in your face, XN. No, I'm not going to forgive myself for that joke, and things like that. Another example I could use is from Persona 4 Arena. So this game is really close to my heart, and I played the best character in the game, Mitsuru Kirijo. And the best character in the game, she has one huge flaw in her plan, despite having an amazing matchup spread, amazing range on her normals, great pressure, super high damage, unseeable mix-ups. And hers is actually the opposite of Johnny. She can't hit confirm all her hits into full combos. It's a really big deal, and it affects a couple of her matchups a lot. So what I'm saying is, even though we can all agree to either love our top tier friends or hate our top tier friends, let's not ignore when these characters do have whatever flaws they do have. So let me know what you guys think. Take a sec to leave a question or a comment in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.